A Wrinkle in Time was originally rejected by publishers multiple times before being published in 1962. And yes, the book is better than the movie. It follows the story of Meg Murray and her brother Charles Wallace, who go looking for their father on an intergalactic adventure to Kamazot, only to find that he is in trouble thanks to the evil force It. Publishers believed that it was too difficult for children, whereas Longo joked that it is too difficult for adults, and believed that their hesitancy was because the protagonist is a woman, which wasn't seen in sci-fi until the 1960s, even in adult novels. A year after being published, it won the Newbery Medal given out by the American Library Association, the most distinguished contribution to American literature. Did you know this book faced bans in a lot of the US? A Wrinkle in Time was controversial for blending science, fantasy, and religion. Some critics disliked its theological undertones, while others felt its abstract ideas were too advanced for children. It is currently being challenged to be banned again in Florida by a group called Moms Against Books. They are trying to ban it for opposing Christian beliefs and indoctrinating the occult. One of the most common reasons A Wrinkle in Time has faced bans in the past is the claim that it's anti-Christian. Critics argue that its mystical elements and unconventional depictions of good and evil conflict with traditional Christian doctrine. Vox mentions this in their article saying, "For Longo's conservative critics, this passage suggests that Jesus Christ was one of the special or gifted humans among many, and that important religious figures from other faiths, such as Buddhism, were no more or less important." That passage alone garnered Wrinkle in Time a 1990 ban from an Alabama school district. However, this argument overlooks the profound spiritual themes woven throughout the story. The battle between light and darkness mirrors biblical struggles, and direct references to Christian scriptures and figures, such as Jesus being named as a warrior against evil, underline its spiritual foundation. Additionally, Meg's triumph over evil through love and selflessness aligns with the spiritual teachings about the power of love and sacrifice. Far from undermining Christianity, A Wrinkle in Time uses universal spiritual themes to invite readers of all beliefs to reflect on the power of good and the importance of faith, courage, and connection. Banning this book misses the point entirely. This book is a masterclass in encouraging critical thinking. Yes, it tackles big ideas like good versus evil, the balance of science and faith, and the value of individuality. But instead of spoon-feeding readers answers, it inspires them to ask questions. What does it mean to be truly free? How do we fight the darkness in the world and within ourselves? By challenging readers to grapple with these ideas, A Wrinkle in Time fosters intellectual growth, which is especially important in younger readers to encourage them to do so in other classes, with parents, and out in the real world. The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson tells the story of children who feel different because of their culture, language, appearance, or experiences, and how they find the courage to share their stories. It is often in childhood that we first encounter feelings of exclusion, whether because of race, culture, or simply being new in a space. The Day You Begin doesn't shy away from acknowledging these challenges. It encourages readers to take that first step toward connection because sharing our stories builds bridges. And for adults, it's a reminder of the power of empathy and listening. Jacqueline Woodson wrote this book during a time when representation in children's literature was gaining momentum. Many children were unable to identify with stories since marginalized voices were historically underrepresented in publishing. This book is a part of an increasing effort to guarantee that every child can discover a window or a mirror within a book. Some critics argue that this book addresses difficult topics like racism, exclusion, or cultural differences. But isn't that exactly why it's so important? Sheltering kids from these realities doesn't protect them, it isolates them. In this picture book, the illustrator Rafael Lopez includes rulers throughout the book to show how people tend to measure themselves against others. The Day You Begin gives kids the skills they need to survive in a world that is becoming more and more varied. The Day You Begin equips children with the tools to navigate an increasingly diverse world. It encourages open conversation about identity, culture, feelings, preparing them to be compassionate people of the world. Banning this book would deny young readers a chance to learn these vital lessons early on. The Day You Begin and A Wrinkle in Time both deal with these themes of identity, bravery, love, and empathy. In addition to silencing important discussions, banning these works rob readers of the chance to develop via stories that eliminate prejudice and promote empathy. These works deserve to be celebrated, not censored.